Good morning, people. Your governor here. Happy to be in touch with you once again. I'm gonna be doing a series of 3 videos throughout the course of the day. Video number 1, which is this one, is gonna be about government and what government is. Video number 2 is gonna be about women or hypergamy and how they are being rewarded to openly practice their sexual hypergamy strategy, while men are being punished for practicing their open sexual strategy. And number 3 is gonna be about economy and money. 3 subjects that I think are pretty interesting right now. But it's gonna be 3 separate videos. So, video number 1, government and what government is, and why you wanna keep it small. This is for everybody, all my friends, known and unknown, but especially for my socialist friends, communist friends, and any variants in between those two. Government is an agency of initiation of force. They can get into your house. They can point guns to your head. And it's either you comply or you die. One of the two. You don't want to give too much power to this institution. It goes against your best interest. Government is not your daddy. Government is not your friend. And government is not there to take care of you. You are there to do that. You are there to find your friends. You are there to have a daddy, I don't know, your family, whatever it is. Government cannot replace that. They will never do that. I know you're being indoctrinated into thinking that government is there to be this. It's kind of like a supplemental thing to God, if you believe in God. I personally don't. But I respect the people that do, and I fully understand how important Judeo-Christian values are. I say this in almost every video that I make. So, I know you're being indoctrinated, especially if you're young, to believe that government is this big daddy in the sky that can do everything and can protect you and save you and be your friend and be your daddy if you want to. It's a lie. They might be for some people, but at the expense of a lot of other people. Once again, pointing guns to heads. And forcefully extracting resources from all those other people at gunpoint to give them to you. Those other people that think that government is big and good and altruistic and virtuous. Well, I have a bad news for you. There is no altruism with others' money. There isn't. You can be altruistic with your own money, never with others' money. That is a lie. And that's what governments do. Any government. The reason things are slightly better here in the United States is because we have, even though it's pretty big, smaller governments than in other institutions. You can see that the worst places on earth have the biggest governments. You can see North Korea. It's an extremely big government that is involving every aspect of every citizen's life. Extremely big. You don't want that. You can see Cuba. Extremely big government that is once again involving every aspect of every citizen's life. You don't want that. And I can mention so many others. And there is a range. It goes from what I would guess it would be North Korea all the way up to the United States, which I think is one of the smallest governments on planet Earth with less power over the life of their citizens. This is a fight, of course. Government wants to stay relevant. Back in the days, people, they didn't bother on voting because the things that government were there to provide or to use or to do were things that were there was not direct involvement of government in everyday citizens' life, and people didn't vote because they didn't care. That have been changing a lot lately, and people are increasingly voting more and more and more and more because government, among other things, because government have an ever-increasing impact in every citizen's life. And once again, you don't want that. You want government to stay irrelevant. Government is there to provide 3 functions. Anything over these 3 that I'm gonna give you right now is overreaching. You don't want that. You see? Number 1, defense. Government is very good at organizing people quick in the event of war. That is something that you want. Number 2, keeping the courts open, because you need a place in which you can settle your disputes without violence and guns. That one you want. And number 3, enforcing property rights, private property rights. 3, defense, important. The courts, they have to be open, otherwise it's guns on the street and, duels and pay me or I will kill you, and not good. Property rights, extremely important. This is mine, that is yours. I won't mess up with your property, you won't mess up with mine. And if you do, we got the courts so we can settle this, you see, without shooting each other. That would be bad. Those 3, anything over that is overreaching. And those powers don't belong to government. Regulation, that does not belong to government. That belongs to you. You are in charge of regulation. Now, you don't have the power to write regulation, but you have the power to vote. And you vote in 2 very important ways. Very important way. Number 1, you vote for your congressperson. And that person needs to represent your interests. That's why you're voting for that person. You just don't vote for them later on go to do anything they want. It doesn't work like that. You need to vote for people that represent your interest in the legislature. And number 2, and for me, most important way to vote is, let me show you. The most important way you have to vote, I'm gonna show it to you right now. Because an image says more than 1,000 words. Well, I happen not to have one here. Well, you vote with your dollars. That is the most important vote that you have. Your dollars. Your dollars count. If you're not happy in how, let's say, just say a name. If you're not happy in how Amazon do business and how they treat their employees, you don't get nothing from Amazon. You starve them from your dollars. These dollars here, you're not gonna get until you have better business practices. If you don't like how, I don't know, Walmart do businesses, then good. I will not be part of this. I will not vote with my dollars for this exploiting, or any other word that you have in the book, business practices. I won't do this. I won't be part of this. But then that is not the only thing that you have or you can do. In the Constitution, which some of you want to alter and kind of scrap it and start all over again from the very beginning, you have the right to organize. So it's not only not voting with your dollars, you organize with other people that think the same way you think, and you campaign against these companies and their business practices. You see? Now, it takes time. You have to put the time. You have to put the work. You yourself. Instead of running to the government. That would be bad. If you do it yourself, you organize yourself, you don't vote with your dollars for these things, and you protest these business practices, then you yourself will reap the results and the rewards. Now, if you are too busy or too lazy to actually do something, then you're gonna have to depend on your congressperson, which have to campaign for you to elect him or her. And that campaign, in order for that to happen, needs dollars. Dollars that can come from the same people that you, or the same companies and business practices that you're trying to defeat. That's why your congressperson cannot be effective as you would like it to be, because you are a lazy human being and are not doing the job that you are supposed to be doing. So I strongly encourage you to do your job, keep the power for yourself instead of keep giving it away because you're lazy and you don't want to put the time and you don't want to put the work and you don't want to put the money. You prefer give money to Walmart instead of organizing, I don't know, some kind of protest or just spend the money some other place. How things are going to change if you don't change. Going to Walmart and spending their X amount of money, X amount of dollars, voting with X amount of dollars for those big business practices. I have nothing against Walmart, by the way. I'm just, there are so many people that are against certain things. But then they go there and they spend their money there. How is that? How does that go with each other? If you're against something, you just don't vote for it. And voting means spending time and money there. Now, you don't like something, you go there, you spend the money, and then you run to the government and you want to punish those guys, the same people that later on contribute in campaigns for the same people that you're running to punish them. How can you expect that to work? It cannot work. It will never work. Some Bernie Sanders says that well, people can contribute to the campaigns and all that. Yeah, people can, definitely. But unfortunately, people vote so much for these companies instead of voting for changing the political system, because at the very end of the day, that is what counts. You're voting more with your dollars again. You're voting more for companies and business and bad business practices. You're voting more for that than for changing the political system. You spend $200 in Walmart, but then you send $10 to Bernie Sanders if you are a Bernie Sanders supporter. You spend, I don't know, $10, $15 in Starbucks every day, but you don't spend $15 in Bernie Sanders every day. You have to be coherent. Simple as that. Otherwise, things are not going to move forward. I personally don't like Bernie Sanders. Wait a second. I don't like some of the things that he has to say and the way he wants to fix things. I don't think that is the solution. But the issues that he's talking about are very real. Extremely real. And have to be fixed. Now, the way he names those issues is not the real problem. What is causing those issues, those are the real problems. Income inequality is not an issue. What causes that is the issue. Healthcare, I don't know, Medicare, let's say, and healthcare for all. Well, that is a noble thing. And something that, honestly, if we secure the border, number one, you cannot have an open treasure in the middle of the street. Nobody does that. If you have gold, you put it in a safe. See? Walls, secure. Nobody throws a bunch of gold in the middle of the street, just walk away and leave it there and expect no one to come and take it. So you have to secure the country. You have to secure the border. You have to get rid of a lot of illegal people that are here that are pillaging the resources that we have right now, which are limited, by the way. And you have to get rid of a lot of immigrants. You have to get rid of a lot of people that shouldn't be here in the first place. And then with secure borders and less people here pillaging, we can start thinking honestly in having a healthcare system that could be more efficient and less more efficient and more accessible, I would say. We need to revamp certain things too, with, when it comes to be about preparing and training doctors and controlling the amount of doctors that can go to medical school, and then controlling the amount of doctors that can get residentship, and then control the amount of doctors that can get, can practice, and because all that is under control. There are organizations that are controlling those things. And the reason they want to control that is that they want to keep the supply of workforce in the medical field short, so they can keep charging ridiculous prices. And that is a problem. So I'm gonna leave it there. I hope this is interesting enough for you. You can comment. You can, if you find the channel or the content interesting, I will encourage you to give it a like to the video and subscribe. I'm gonna be putting two other videos today. I'm gonna be uploading 2 other videos today. The second is gonna be once again about women or hypergamy and how they can openly practice their hypergamy sexual strategy while you as a man are being punished for practicing yours. And I will go in detail later on over that. So that's it for now. See you later on. I hope this is interesting to you. I hope you like and subscribe and you comment. It is important for me that you comment on the videos. And if you have questions and you would like me to elaborate on things or, you know, certain issues, I am certainly willing to do so. Thank you very much once again. The time have not come yet, but it's coming. And when the time comes, I want you to remember my face and my name and vote for me. Thank you very much. Have a very good one. See you later. Bye-bye.